Hey guys, welcome to the Mom Voice. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Sarah.
With 7 kids between the two of us, we know what a wild ride parenting can be.
But that it's also the most rewarding job any of us will ever do. As longtime best friends, we've been together for a lot, helping each other all along the way.
And now we're sharing our journeys with you, letting you in on our day-to-day to hear what's working in our homes and what's not.
Each week, we'll be sitting down to talk all the things, from parenting to TV, relationships to self-care. We'll cover it all.
So whether you're a stay-at-home mom or empty nester, join us here to get informed and help your family thrive.
Together, we'll figure it all out. Welcome to your Mommy Morning Show. Before we get started, we want to tell you about Little Sleepies. Little Sleepies has created the perfect pajama. It's wearable all year round and made from a material that your whole family is guaranteed to love.
Yes, it's made from a special bamboo fabric. And even my 12-year-old, who doesn't wear pajamas too much anymore, loved this pajama.
As did my husband.
Yes.
Not once have I ever been able to get him into a matching family pajama, and he actually legit loves these. So go check it out. Their website is littlesleepies.com. That's little, SLEEPIES.com. And at checkout, make sure to use promo code MOMVOICE for 15% off a full priced item.
Perfect for Christmas jammies just around the corner. So go be sure to check them out today.
Okay, Lauren. Well, I think I officially drank my weight in butterbeer last week.
Me too. Well, in butter beer, in butter slush, in butter ice cream.
Oh, the ice cream.
All of it. All of it.
And it's officially now my absolute favorite treat at any theme park.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my gosh. If you have not experienced the magic of butterbeer yet, make it a priority in your life. You have got to go. Tell me your favorite variety of the butterbeer right now.
I did like the slush.
Did you?
I actually was so like, oh, the soda, the bubbles. I want the carbonation, this butterbeer. And then my son insisted we do that. And actually, I really loved it. It's just the perfect consistency. And it's not like icy slushy, but it like, and then my husband was like, oh, this goes so much further. Like you're sipping on it for so much longer. And I'm like, yeah, it is so good.
Oh my gosh, it's so yummy. And then I got the ice cream.
Yes.
And the only way I could describe it, I was like floored at how good it is.
I know.
I'm not building this up, people.
I was too.
It's like a salted caramel toffee type butterscotchy gelato.
All of it.
That's what it felt like to me. And I was like, oh, it's so good.
It was really good.
Oh my gosh. Well, get ready, guys. Buckle up. We're about to share all about our recent Mom Voice vacation. You've been hearing us talk about the lead up to this for months now, and we did it. We trekked all 11 of us out to Orlando. And oh my gosh, we had such a blast.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was such a treat to partner up with Universal Orlando. Like we had just such an amazing experience. This is our second time. We were so happy to be back this year. I mean, last year we went and it was post-COVID. One of the first things out of the gate, just kind of figuring this whole thing out, traveling with masks and kids and sanitary stuff, all the things. So this was a totally different experience in a lot of ways. And we just loved it all the more.
Yeah, totally. All the more. And I do feel like we knew a little bit more about what we were doing, how to navigate things. And we really do have like a lot of fun tips that we kind of figured out this time of how to like really maximize your time there. And just to remind you, our children's ages, they range anywhere from my youngest, and he's the youngest of both of us. He's 5. And then Lauren has the oldest, and Tristan is 12.
12 and a half. Almost 13. So we do have a variety of interests and heights and demands.
All the things.
And so we're going to kind of cover all the things because really, Universal Orlando, I mentioned it last year, is like a step up for us in really diving into those thrill rides, the roller coasters, whereas my kids are super ready for that and they just loved it. It's coaster, coaster, coaster.
Yeah.
But then there's still plenty to do for the little ones, like Luke, our 5-year-old, and all the kids enjoyed.
Yeah. I think at times I had kind of steered away from Universal in the past, thinking that it was like solely geared to older, like teens, things like that. But it's totally not the case. I think we were really surprised at how much you can do like as a younger family. And I don't know, I felt like it is really easy to navigate the parks. They make it really good. And we'll get into all of that. So let's just kick it off. Let's start with, and we're going to be speaking about Orlando specifically.
Yep.
Obviously, there is Universal Studios Hollywood. And I think a lot of the things we talk about today can be applied at both.
Yep.
But ours is going to be more geared towards Orlando because that's where we just went. But let's kick it off. Okay, Lauren, talk to us about the different parks at the Universal Orlando Resort.
Okay, so yes, there's 3 parks that we went to and 3 parks that make up Universal Orlando Resort. And so you have Universal Studios, kind of the classic, iconic one with a lot of the rides maybe you're familiar with. And in Orlando, they also have Islands of Adventure. And maybe some of our favorites were there. My kids loved Islands of Adventure. And then additionally, they have Volcano Bay. Now, this is a new park to us this year, and man, is it a blast.
Oh my gosh, if you follow us on Instagram, you probably heard me say 19 times, I'm so impressed with this place. I just couldn't get over it.
It's a water park.
Yeah.
And hopefully you saw some things we shared last week, but it is a water park, and we're going to dive into that quite literally in a few minutes here. But like, it was such a fun time, such a cool place. So we really can't wait to share about that too.
So overall, Lauren and I really talked about this off mic and like what we would really suggest to families if this is like a new experience for you guys, it's your big family vacation. We really would suggest doing at least 3 days and at least giving yourself a day for each park.
There's lots of ways you can do this because they do have like a variety mix of tickets, like most parks. I mean, you can do a 1 park per day type ticket, or kind of where you can jump around to the different parks and be able to see a little bit of everything in the same day. So I guess that's where kind of your budget plays into it on what will work for you. Park to park tickets are more, so you can cram more into one day, but maybe that's where you just kind of want to map out where the budget will allot for and what will fit best for you guys.
Yeah. And I have noticed after looking at their website for a while, they do run a lot of good deals, a lot of good promos, especially if you're planning to stay on property. They have like these great, like buy 2 days, get 2 days free, like all kinds of different things. Like right now, I think they have something going like that. So make sure to check out like the specific ticket packages that they have going on, because I do think that those can save you a lot of money than trying to piece it all together. Talking about the properties at Universal, we have been super impressed with them. I feel like they have a really good range of accommodations. We have stayed at one of the more economical choices that is called the Dockside Inn and Suites, Endless Summer Resort, Dockside Inn and Suites. And I say economical, but it's still really nice.
Yeah, I think it's only a few years old. Like when we went last year, I feel like it was only like it had opened during COVID, which is like,
that's right.
It was a brand new resort, but then nobody stayed there for like a year. And then, so it's still like near brand new, and it's really just great, beautiful styling, really feels
super
clean,
modern.
Absolutely.
A lot of the rooms, like you can get the room that we stayed in has like 2 queen beds and then its own little master bedroom, if you want to call it that. It's like another queen bed with a door that you can close off.
I love that.
It's like genius
kitchenette.
Because it has a kitchenette. You can put the kids to bed and then watch a show with the hubs.
Room. I know.
And it's amazing.
I love that.
So also what I loved about the Dockside specifically, we ate there a lot and the food is like very reasonably priced. I was shocked.
And it was very good food. And they had a lot of options.
Yeah.
And I think the kids like loved getting to go through and pick what they wanted. And I thought the prices were great.
The pool is amazing. It's got a huge pool.
Huge pool.
Like very big. And they've got a sand area.
And like a splash pad.
It was just really good.
Yeah. And a great little outdoor like bar, tiki area. Like it's a really great setup that you can even carve out time for.
Another thing that I cannot stress enough is that when you stay on property, they include free transportation to the parks.
Yes.
And you guys, this is like a game changer. It makes getting to and coming from so easy They have buses, really nice, comfortable buses that run continuously throughout the day and to all 3 parks. It drops you off right at City Walk, which is kind of like their free, like, how would you describe City Walk?
Kind of outdoor mall, kind of downtown district area type
Lots of
thing.
Restaurants, a movie theater, things like that. It was popping the night we left.
Friday night we left. It was busy.
It was crazy. I don't know what was going on down there, but lots of activity. But it drops you right off there. You go through security, which we'll get to in just a minute. And then you're like ready to go enjoy it. It's not this huge effort.
Right. It is really smooth. And I think it really helps like ease the morning, just get to the bus stop and go. And they do have, like we said, a variety of like price points and like from more family friendly to luxurious hotels. And I know that even some of those cute little boats on the water, that's their transportation from the hotels, is those like ferry boats. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want to do that next year.
I know the boats are so cute. So that gets you right up to the park entrance too. So it's just really easy to be and I just think there's something about being on the resort, on the property, just kind of makes it this full encompassing experience where the kids feel like, they're still at Universal. It's still just this cool, fun, different experience. And it really was, it felt like that.
Totally. And I do feel like like I said earlier, they have such different price points for everything from, like I said, like the dockside to the Hard Rock Hotel and like really luxurious things. So there's something to kind of accommodate your budget.
Yes, something also to like praise is like we loved the security system there in each of the parks. Well, and the nice thing is when you got off the bus, it was all one central spot. Everyone walked through. The first spot was security. And then that got you into City Walk. And so everything was right there. And it was awesome because it's kind of like the airport where you walk through the metal detector thingy.
It scans your stuff.
And then, you put your bag in and it scans through just like the airport. So no one's digging through your stuff. I mean, that's time consuming and annoying.
We never got backed up at security, which I can say has been a pain point at other places for me.
Yes.
Standing in the hot sun, like you're burning time.
And you feel like you have to like get there early for the security, for the line of security.
It's annoying.
Whereas here, it just felt very seamless, very quick. And I just love that they have like the whole airport setup. Like every place needs to do that. It's so much more efficient. And
you didn't have to take your shoes off.
No, none of that. But like, I mean, the kids walked right through. We zipped on and we went on the escalator and kept going and it was quick. And so we loved that. And we did that at Volcano Bay too, which was another entrance and another point. And as well, again, very quick. And we really appreciated that.
Another thing to mention, I know we're kind of hopping around, but I'm trying to think of high level things that we really liked is there's no reservations. So,
oh my gosh, yes.
It's as easy as buying your ticket. You do kind of pick a day, I think, when you're buying your tickets. But it's not a second process to go like reserve something and have to stress about that.
And I think you could also show up that day and buy a ticket.
Exactly.
Which is like how we all originally were at some point. But COVID really tweaked that. And a lot of people and a lot of businesses and a lot of organizations are holding on to that.
I know.
And so I get it. I do understand it, but it is just a whole nother hoop to jump through.
I think it's a lot to ask of families, busy families, because things change. Kids wake up sick.
Like
you were up all night with your crying baby and you don't feel up to going, but you still feel like you've got that reservation. You got to show up.
Right. Or you're at the beach and it rains and you want to, let's go to the theme park today instead.
Right. Like, there's some spontaneity to be had. And let's be real, when you're a busy mom and have young ones, life is spontaneous. Right. It just happens.
Never goes as planned. So
ever.
I like that.
Okay. We have a kind of a hot debate on our hands with this next topic. Lauren and I kind of differ a little bit. I'm like fully enabling my Luke to forever be pushed in a stroller. Let's talk strollers.
Never let go of that baby.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
There was a point, actually, funny enough, when we were preparing to go on this trip, I fully intended to bring my umbrella stroller. I get to the Phoenix airport and I'm like, crap, Jeremy, I don't have our stroller. Oh my gosh. And I did debate the whole time, am I going to make him walk? Am I going to do it? Do I buck up and rent the stroller? The 3 days we're there, this or that, whatever. And you guys, I'm such a pushover. But he's 5.5 years old, Lauren.
But they're still little legs.
You were like pushing Caleb out of the nest at that point. You go fly, spread those wings. Oh my gosh.
No, I feel like I know it's funny because sometimes they are just like big for the stroller, but at the end of the day, their little legs are like walking so many miles through that day. So it is like good safety net to have.
I know. So
I
did
a crying kid.
I know. I did opt for it. And I will say, like, I'm glad we did it. Mainly because a lot of the rides at Universal, you have to use a locker.
Yes, and that's new to me. Like, that's new to us because we're not used to having to lock up our phone and purse and whatever. Like, you think you can just stuff it in the net, and it's not.
It's not that way.
No.
And so it's kind of nice to have the stroller just to, like, throw all your crap on.
I would agree.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm glad in the end that you did rent it because it was super handy for that. And then, like you said, though, I mean, I think it's just not worth having a cranky kid or carrying the kid. You're going to have to carry him if he's, and Luke's a funny one. He's a little more reserved.
He's such a baby.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
Like, he likes to be the baby. And so you would have been carrying him. So I think.
And I know I would have.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And it's not like this kid is not used to vacationing. Like, we do a lot. He just is like fully aware that he's the baby of the group and he knows how to play me like full on. Right. And I don't know. So we did do the stroller rental. It's a super easy process, like at all the parks. It's right when you walk through the entrance gate. There's a little stroller rental area. Did not take me more than 5 minutes any day that I was there. And at the time of recording today, it was $35 a day. But that's for like a double. Like, it's a tight double.
No, it is. But I thought it was great. Yeah. I mean, it's totally reasonable. I think it was good.
It has a little awning on it. And he was just in heaven the whole time, you know. Why wouldn't he be? It is worth it.
I don't know. I guess Caleb just like grew out of it.
I remember you being like, no, I'm done with strollers, Caleb. You buck up, bud. No, 100%.
So terrible. No, and I just feel like he was always jumping in and out. Like, it was almost just an extra
hassle
thing to worry about and parking it and finding it. But it is right to have storage and stuff. That's a game changer. Now I'm carrying my crap. So whatever I'm bringing is on my back.
Oh, I know.
And that is a different thing. Like, you have to be more mindful of what you're bringing.
I know. It's so true. So I did go with the stroller. I'm happy I did. But let's talk about our favorite rides. Let's just get into it.
Yes, there's so many cool things.
Universal Studios, what would you say? Okay, and let's just back up. Lauren and I are very different people. You all know this if you've listened to us for any length of time. And if you know our personalities, you can probably gauge a little bit like where we land on the spectrum of thrill rides and what we can stomach, quite literally. Lauren is just like all day, give me the roller coasters, the thrills, the drops, the motion. I'm like literally, I come off not even like a hardcore roller coaster, like a semi.
Yeah.
I'm in full body sweat. Like, I'm not, my body legit goes into like fight or flight mode. And I'm like in a full body sweat, almost ready to vomit, not from motion. I really don't think it's motion so much. I think it's like intensity of something. Or I don't know.
No, it's truth. I mean, I've seen it many a times. That is true for Sarah. I try to push her and then I don't want to push her too far.
Gosh. Oh, she's like, come on, you. Well, I won't say. It's a family podcast.
I wanted her to go on the Velocicoaster with me so bad because it is like probably the best coaster I've ever been on. It's so fun. It's so fast. It's smooth. It's crazy. But I know it probably would have thrown you off of It's funny. You guys, there's 4 adults, our husbands and us. And I am like the only one out of the 4 of us that could handle really any of the coasters.
She holds it down.
I did get my husband on a few, which I was so glad he would like try it out. But he knows his limits too. And
both of our husbands are motion sickness.
Yes, it is so funny.
I wouldn't say that's my problem. Mine is like more just scared, like
fear
of like that one. What is the red one?
Rocket.
The rocket.
Riptide Rocket. The
Holy
music. Yep.
Freak. Like literally just watching that, it goes straight up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, hell no. I will never.
It is pretty wild. That is the only one that makes my stomach drop, like literally, because you're dropping straight down. It is the one where I get tense about The rest of them, I was like totally fine.
Oh yeah, you're a champ.
I mean, I would say Rocket, Velocicoaster, and Hulk are probably the most fast, intense, like wild rides there. Mummy's close and Hagrid's close second.
Yeah.
They're just a little more tame. Like there's no
they're more
flip
story
upside down.
based.
Yes, they're exactly. They're more story based. They have like storyline. They're fast and they're swishing, but there's
loved Mummy.
I did too.
I totally did that.
Sarah has never seen the Mummy though.
No, I haven't.
Which blew my mind.
You guys.
Brendan Fraser growing up was like such a stud.
I just wish you could have heard our commentary as we went on all these rides. That's the funny thing. We're like, what's he doing now? And what does he look like? And let's go look up this actor.
No,
we're like Googling.
Totally. Love all the movies that the rides are like around. And like Jurassic Park and all the new Jurassic World and all of it. Like that's iconic to us too in our childhood. And it's like the Hulk is so fun. My kids love the Hulk. I mean, obviously it's like, it's just so fun to have all the favorites with it.
Yeah, it's fun. And a fun fact that we learned from someone there at Universal is I kind of always assumed that they produced all of these movies, like that Universal Studios.
Universal Studio movies.
They were kind of like their movies or their characters or whatever, but it's not that way, actually. Yeah. We actually learned that they're licensed with a lot of different studios. Like I think they said Warner Brothers did Harry Potter. Yep. Like there's a lot of different studios that they represent. So it's kind of fun.
DreamWorks.
Yeah,
like,
there's a whole
things
Marvel
like,
section.
You just almost don't think about. You think that it's all under that same umbrella, but they just partner up.
So I think that was super exciting. And then we also learned that they're in the works of building another park.
Yeah.
And it's already been leaked, I guess, that there will be a Super Mario Land.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Epic for my boys.
I can't believe that it hasn't been done yet. Like that is so, again, iconic and so fun from like, for all the years, all the generations. So that will be so cool. I bet they could do that. Like so many fun, cool ideas. Think of all what's the racing one called?
Oh, Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Yeah. Think of a Mario Kart.
Or Smash Brothers. Oh my gosh. My boys will be geeked out on that.
So another thing we just have to mention that we utilized while in the park was Express Pass. So this is kind of their quick pick lane to like, get shorter waits for the rides. And oh man, we were so lucky. I think we were also there at a really great time just between holidays, but we really with the Express Pass had very short waits, like super short waits.
Yeah. And when they say express, like it is express. Yeah. Like I really feel like a lot of people maybe don't opt for that, or at least in our experience, like the lines have always been really short. And we did get asked, I've been asked a lot personally, even since we went last year, should I get it? Is it worth the extra cost? What would you say to someone, Lauren? I know we've talked about this a lot off mic.
And we have both concluded that if this is kind of like your one-time trip, maybe every few years you're going to hit Universal Studios Orlando, that maybe it would be it is expensive, but it would be worth doing because I mean, it just cuts your wait times. You get so much more into your day. I mean, you just reduce like tantrum and time and fighting in lines, like all of those things that we deal with at theme parks. So I do think it's really worth it. It is the expense and it does bump up your ticket price quite a bit. So if you can budget for it, I think it's a huge win.
Yeah, I personally would like forego other things. Like I would maybe bring food, bring lunch. I would forego an extra souvenir or like whatever, like budget the treats, budget the souvenirs, whatever to do the Express Pass, because let's talk about the heat. Like you are going to be dealing with some Florida heat for maybe a bulk of the months. And the Express Pass is kind of a game changer when you're not having to stand and deal with the heat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We were there in November, and so we kind of were like, we didn't know what to expect. We kind of thought, okay, sure, fall-ish temps, but it was still pretty warm. And I've been there another time in November where you're still like, it's warm, muggy, some rain. So you do want to be prepared for like the Florida temps, and and speaking of that, maybe bring a fan or bring. Oh yeah,
we'll share some of our little things that we like and that we use at the parks. Lauren's like king of all the Amazon fans. and whatnot.
Right. I was super prepared last year. I was not as prepared this year as I should have been. But it's great to have all those things.
And I also would advise, like, we also like to come prepared with lanyards because you do utilize, especially if you have an express pass, you're going to be scanning your ticket a lot. You can use your phone also via the Universal app. Like, you can link your tickets and do it that way. But we love the lanyards. We think it's fun. Our kids like them as well. You can obviously purchase them there, but
it does make it super easy. And like, you keep track of that ticket because it is so easy to like slip out of your phone, slip out of your pocket when you're reaching for the wallet.
And that happened to my husband.
Yes, happened to the husband.
Let me just tell this quick story.
Yes.
So Lauren and I forget our lanyards. We go down to the store at the hotel, which is Darling, and we're like looking at all the stuff. And we find this darling little leather Harry Potter is it called a lanyard? It's like one of those that buckles on your belt loop, right?
Kind of like
a hospital thing, that people
like
use.
an ID badge, almost like an ID badge one.
Yeah, it didn't go around your neck; it like hooked on, whatever. So I'm like going to buy my husband one. He's like, no way. He's like too cool, right? He's too cool to wear
like,
the Harry Potter.
Yep.
Don't even. And who do you think loses their ticket on day one? And I was like, you're so dumb, first of all.
I know.
You should have gotten it. But I will say, quick tip, if you're a newbie to the theme parks, always take a picture of your tickets.
Yes.
And
Sarah was great to remind us. We did that right up front.
It's a game changer.
And he was easily able to go to guest services and show that, and they could reprint one. So that's super great.
So just lay them all out. We just laid them all out, and you just snap that, and you can go take it.
Yeah, just so you're,
I mean, gosh.
I know.
So dumb.
So funny. But we did. We loved our lanyards, and they came in super handy.
And then also, if you're preparing yourself really good, bring a poncho.
Oh, yes.
For multiple reasons.
Absolutely. Well, Jurassic Park. Yes. On their
The River Adventure.
Yep.
I now have been tricked 2 years in a row of going on that ride. Last year, George, Lauren's husband, tricked me and I got completely soaked. And this year it was like, oh, it's not that bad. Like, I think it was just where you were sitting last year.
Somehow she's like unlucky every time because I get sprinkled on and she'd be like,
I'm not kidding. It like
drenched.
It came like full face. My hair, everything was drenched and it was in the morning. So I'm like, oh, this is so cute. This is like a good look for me.
This Jurassic Park ride is like literally, again, I keep using the word iconic, but like the one you would see in the commercials where they're flying down the hill and the wave of water, like 20 feet high, flash up, come to Universal Studios. And I can remember that. And it was a wave. It's actually a really big wave of water.
It is so much.
And that's a really fun ride, though. The kids loved it. We could all go on that together, which was fun. And it still has that fun drop. So it's got a little bit of a, exciting scare. Yeah.
No, it's super fun. I know. I really love that one. That's like my speed right there. It really is. Put me on a boat ride.
It's a boat ride.
With a little bit of a dip.
Yep,
like I'm
and
good.
A drop. Yep, that was
totally.
Good.
One of my other things I have to mention, and I think we've even mentioned this before on the podcast, but the Bourne Stuntacular.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Like every single time, you guys, I see this show. It's about Jason Bourne, Bourne Identity.
Yeah, Bourne Trilogy now. But
Trilogy.
Oh, we loved those.
You guys, I don't even know how to describe this, but you have got to not skip on this. Like you have to make it to this show. It's just next level.
It is. It is.
Like every single time I've seen it now, my jaw is like on the floor.
On the floor. Absolutely. It is like the special effects. I mean, I loved Matt Damon, Jason Bourne. Oh my gosh. Like I saw all the movies. It
makes me want to go watch it again.
I know. Actually, I do. I absolutely do too. It is such a good story. And oh my gosh. And then how they can recreate it on the live stage like that it's incredible. Really phenomenal. It's probably the best I've seen.
Another fun show that we discovered this year is the animal show.
Oh,
don't you even?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Emmett begged me to see that the next day.
I know.
The next day after Volcano Bay. He was like, can we go to the animal show? He wanted to see it again so bad.
You guys, I loved it. So we were literally like strolling, whatever. It's kind of like, we're taking a little breather or whatnot. And we passed this set and it says animal actors on it. And I'm like, it's not like a big sign or anything. Come to find out, they have the actual pets in the movies. They're on location and they have a team of trainers who teach them all these amazing tricks and they do a show for you. And it's so cute.
It's so fun. No, my Emmett loves animals. And then we have Luke, who's terrified of birds.
Oh my gosh. And I'm not kidding. There's a part where the birds fly from the stage to like the top behind you.
Right. Like
I'm not even lying. That bird came within an inch of his head.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember?
Out of all spots to be in, Luke is right in the range
like traumatized
of the bird. And he was like flipping out
Oh my
about birds
gosh.
just days before that. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then Emmett's over here. Well, and all my kids were just giddy watching the dogs do all the things and hop and skip and bark and bow and all the things.
Oh.
It was darling. And they had pigs and porcupines and skunks and cats.
It was nuts.
It was fun. It
like
was so
they were
fun.
doing all these crazy tricks, and I love they said that like a lot of them are shelter and like they find them at shelters.
Rescue,
and I'm like, how the hell have I not been able to get my dog to stop barking in 2 years? Wait a minute. What am I doing wrong?
We've been talking about Kit for a long, long time here. And Kit needs to go learn how to be an actor and get her stuff together.
I know those trainers. They would just like make a little gesture with their hand.
Yes.
I was like, dude, that is magic there.
That was fun. No,
that
you're
is
right.
don't skip that show.
This
That's good.
has actually been a huge like blessing and surprise this year to us because last year again it was COVID. So it was still kind of 6 feet apart, very safety first and all of those things, being mindful of that. And so no shows were going, and even pre-shows for rides weren't going. You would just walk on and space out and be in separate rows. Where this year, I mean, we have the full experience, and Universal Studios is all about, production and live action. And so that's a big part. And we ran into lots of fun street performers, or like we saw this cool, Harry Potter, these warriors on the stage, like, fighting these wizards or whatever. And so there's just lots to see. And you definitely want to check the app to tune into that, because you have heard from us from day one, always talking about entertainment really makes the experience for the kids.
Yes.
So it's something to really include in your day.
100%. Yes. Let's talk about the app really quick. It's like a game changer. You can obviously see like all the rides, attractions. You can filter really easy
wait times, which is big,
on different types of rides. Up at the top of the map, you can sort by thrill rides, 3D rides, children, like child rides, age rides, whatever. And then it'll show dining, restrooms, all that stuff. They do have mobile ordering, which I feel like is such a 2022 thing everywhere.
But it does save so much time. So you've got to try to do it where you can.
It totally does. Down to the butterbeer. You can mobile order that butterbeer.
Absolutely.
Because don't kid yourself. The line gets long with the butterbeer, but it's so worth it.
Yes,
so make sure you do that.
Since this is our second time back, the kids kind of had an idea of like things that they really loved or a favorite and things that they wanted to do again and be sure to hit. And that's always been a tip for us on a big day. We talked about this on a recent episode about how kind of to lower your expectations and as moms and dads when it's such a full day like this, and also set out the expectation to the children. So they really have an idea of like what to understand and how to follow, because I think when they have an idea of how the day is going to look, it kind of sets them up for success and not meltdowns or demands or wants. And really to highlight maybe each of the kids, like one or two favorites. If it was a ride, like I said, my son would love to do the animal show again and probably this ride, or, he wants these two rides, so that when the day gets full or the crowds are there and it's busy, you really can make sure that you fulfill those little things, the big things to the kids,
right?
So that everyone has a little bit of joy through the day.
Yeah, totally. I think we always like to do that leading into it. It's a fun way to kind of plan the itinerary. And really, honestly, we do recommend you have an itinerary almost, or at least kind of have an idea of how you're going to navigate
your day.
Navigate the parks. We kind of just worked our way through it. And then we did kind of, once we were up into the Wizarding World, we did the train over, and then we worked our way, kind of through the parks.
Both of the parks are kind of nice because they're both like kind of circles set around like a lagoon, like a lake. Pond, I guess.
Right.
And so really once you kind of get the hang of it, you can realize it's kind of circle-esque and you can kind of follow that if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking about rides too, and just kind of prioritizing, we know there's height restrictions and there are coasters, and all the little ones can't do everything. And so something we really loved is how they did this child swap. They would have almost like this family. They called it a family room.
Yeah.
With like a movie and some chairs where the kids could hang out, the little ones. And
I don't know how I missed this last year.
I know.
But I did miss it.
But then again, I don't know if they had them going for COVID.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a confined space again, you know?
Funny.
I don't know. And so, but it was a perfect setup where the kid doesn't feel like totally bummed where they're staying in the stroller in the sun crying. They don't get to do it. They get a space that they can kind of enjoy and relax while you swap, you know, the parents or adults or the teens get to go again or whatever.
Yeah, it's super cool. So like at the Fast and Furious ride I was on with Landon, I kind of peeked in their family room and I saw a mom nursing. She was like nursing in there, which is genius because they're private.
My gosh, yeah.
They have seats, but like the Fast and Furious family room was so cool because it had like all these cars, like model cars, and it was just themed. They're all kind of themed for that ride.
Something to look at.
And I just thought it was genius. I was like, this is so smart. Instead of just hanging out at the exit or the gift, they have like a dedicated area. And if you are a nursing mom, go utilize one of the family rooms.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, totally. I thought it was super cool. Okay, let's shift gears to Volcano Bay because it is kind of its own thing, kind of a totally different experience. It is their water park and it's only been open for like a few years, come to find out.
Mm-hmm.
I kept saying to Lauren, I'm just so blown away at how nice this is because I think going into a water park, I had like really low expectations. Like every water park I've ever been to is kind of cheesy. It's like, you know, I don't know. It's got like loud colors and just not appealing to me at all. I was just blown away. I felt like I'd been transported to a Hawaiian island. The vegetation, the plants, it was like no expense was spared. So nice. I mean, what did you think?
Oh, I loved it as well. I think also like, I know it's new, but like sometimes water parks, you just kind of get the like grimy, rusted, like old like vibe just because it's rotting
like
in
rusty,
the sun
totally.
And the water and chlorine. And you just, that probably happens very quickly to that kind of damage. But everything just felt so crisp, so clean. No like soggy areas or gross and old. Like everything just was so pretty and clean and bright. And you're right, the vibe of like this whole tropical. I mean, Florida is Florida and sunny and bright and like, you know, green. But like this like had a whole tropical.
It was elevated.
Like, yes,
big time.
You really did feel like you were in the Caribbean or in Hawaii or something really fun and different. And each of like the, you know, the lawn chairs, the umbrellas to like the food booths and the soda stations, everything was just the bars were clean and pretty and just were really fun themed, all the details.
It was so well done. And I felt like it was small enough that I was totally fine with our 10-year-olds doing their thing.
Kind of running around.
Like,
yes.
That is something to kind of be aware of. We got there and we were like, oh crap, how are we going to communicate?
Yes.
Because you can't have your phone on you.
Well, or like you again, bring maybe those water cases. Yeah. And we should have had one of those because then at least someone could be like filming or taking calls or whatever. But really, when they left our little like spot with our lawn chairs, like we didn't know where they went, what they were doing.
I felt totally fine.
But I did. I felt very safe and fine. And I knew the kids were like capable and all the rides and so many, team members everywhere that it was just so great. There's so many great slides.
Oh my gosh.
That was the other thing. I could not believe how many slides there were. We kind of barely got to do we didn't. Half of them.
I know.
And I was like, oh my gosh, where's the day gone?
I know.
The hours we had were 10 to 5. So you do have a shorter day. So be prepared for that. Get there at opening and being on property, you do get early access, which is so awesome. To the theme parks and to Volcano Bay, you get an early access. And that is so great and so crucial to short lines, hit the favorite, get in there. So use that if you are on property. But I mean, oh my gosh, it's just like we couldn't even get to it all. And they have tell them about the Tapu Tapu.
The Tapu Tapu. It's so cool. So like when you scan your ticket, the team member hands you this like watch, I would call it, but it's not a watch. It doesn't have
like
a clock.
Gizmo,
it's a
Apple
wearable
watch, but it's like a waterproof watch.
Yeah, it's a wearable band, right? That has a screen on it, whatever. And it's part of their mission when they were like designing the park to eliminate you standing in line with your tube like every other water park.
In the
baking
sun.
in the sun.
Yep.
So what they have at every single slide and attraction is you can go, put your Tapu Tapu on and reserve a time, essentially. if there's no wait, it'll say like ride now and you just go on up. But like for some of the more popular slides, I mean, they book out 2 hours, right? So you would go tap in, like, and it would say on your watch, return, I keep calling it a watch, on your Tapu Tapu, like return in 65 minutes, return in 35 minutes, whatever. So we did that.
So fun.
Yeah, it was great because then you can go on the lazy river or on the wild river or on the slow, the less popular slides. Like you can maximize your day a little more.
Or go eat or take a nap, lay out. Like you could just use your time instead of standing in line with 100 other people.
I thought it was super smart.
It was super smart. And every kid got to wear one and they thought it was like kind of a super fun thing. Yeah. And
there's also a lot of really cute little interactive experiences around Volcano Bay with your Tapu Tapu. My favorite one being inside of the volcano. So I actually, at the end of the day, I took all 3 of my kids. I was like, Jeremy, I have to do this. And I took them inside the volcano and should I tell them what it is here?
Sure.
Yeah. Cover little ears so you don't spoil it. But there's a place inside the volcano where you can do your Tapu Tapu and like legit the wall like lights up this magical design and like colorful
like
LEDs.
Pixie dust along the wall.
So cool. And so I actually had all 3 of my kids like stand behind a wall. And I was like, one at a time, you go do it.
Oh, you're
because I didn't want it to be ruined. I was like, don't tell. And I had them each do it and they all were like, oh my gosh, like it was just so cool.
There's so many fun little magical moments throughout the whole park. And the volcano's so cool.
Yeah. So it was really cool.
Okay. And another thing we loved, both of our families, and we did it a lot, what was the official name? Is it their official name to it?
It was the Fearless River, not the Wild River.
Yes, the Fearless
and it was
River.
Such a favorite.
Oh my gosh. My husband was like giggling like a little girl on it. It was just, so it's a lazy river vibe, guys, but without the tube. And you wear a life vest, actually, because
it picks up.
It picks up.
Yeah.
It's just, you are hauling down this river. It is like these currents are so fast. And then you go through this part where it's a choppy wave. A wave comes. You go through bubbles. You go through a choppy water. It is, you're just flying through, like zipping through this river. It is so fun.
There was this like 20-year-old guy next to me. I was kind of dragging my feet. I was like, I don't care about the lazy river. I was like being a diva. Yes. And Jeremy had already done it. And he's like, no, trust me, let's go. I want to do this as a family. So I get my vest on, whatever. And I get in there and it picks you up. And somehow I kept bumping into this like 25-year-old guy. And I had like no control of my body. Yeah, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so out of control. And he just started laughing. And I'm like, what am I doing?
No, it is. It's funny because you do kind of like, it just carries you. Even a 200-pound man, like it just pushes you right along.
Yeah.
And it's like so fun. My kids are just like zipping by me looking like superheroes in the sky. And they're just flying. And they would all try to hustle to catch up to the wave and catch the wave through.
I know.
And so it's like these deeper walls, kind of like a lazy river still is, but
with
it's
lots
just
of jets.
A do not miss. It is so fun.
Super
and like
fun.
everybody can do it, all ages. Yeah. You do have to wear a vest at any age. Yeah. They just want to be extra cautious. But and speaking of being cautious, I mean, you just found lifeguards on every corner.
I know. And that's what I was going to say when I was talking about like being okay with our 10-year-olds, like kind of going off. There were team members, there were lifeguards like everywhere. And I felt like they were super attentive. Like they were dialed in, watching the kids. I mean, even in the big, like at the base of the volcano, there's a huge, what would you call that?
Wave pool.
A wave pool.
Oh my gosh. My kids are such suckers for the wave pool.
Oh, they love it.
And I want to be like, come on, let's go do rides.
Yeah.
Or slides. But they like could like jump the waves in a wave pool for hours.
And
they
our
love
kids
that.
really utilized that a lot.
Yeah,
they loved it. But it was so nice because we could just kind of chill on the chairs and lay out and talk and whatever. And because, there's so many lifeguards around, it's kind of awesome.
You do feel really secure. Yeah. And you're right. I totally actually thought we were going to have kind of a down day and get to lay out and relax. I don't think I sat down though more than like 10 minutes, mainly because I wanted to do all the things too. Like I got so excited seeing it all. And then I wanted to share with do it with my kids and see their faces and everything. So honestly, I don't even know if I really sat down. I was like so looking forward to that day thinking, oh, they're going to play all day. I'm going to take a nap. We're going to lay out.
Oh, we literally said we were putting it on day 2 so we can have a breather.
Yep.
We put it in between the theme park days. Like, oh, we're going to be able to chill and lay out and drink a drink or whatever all day. Yeah, right. Not happening. Lauren's literally come 2:00 like, my feet, I need water shoes.
Yes. Okay, well, there's another great tip I didn't even think about. If you can,
your feet.
I would recommend. I know. I have the worst feet, guys. Worst feet. I would recommend Tevas or a water sock or, like some sort of waterproof sandal that's attached to your foot. So on these sites, I mean, they're definitely not needed. It's super clean. What was bugging me was there's lots of textures and like driftwood looking cement and sand and my feet, I just don't have great feet. So they just kind of
super sensitive.
I know.
Feet.
It's just the worst. But speaking of sitting out with a drink, we have to mention, we did on Instagram, we mentioned on social, but we loved using their freestyle Coca-Cola cups.
Oh my gosh.
We bought them the first day. Yes. George and I got suckered in by this sweet grandma team member that we were buying a brownie inside the cute Dr. Seuss restaurant. It was super cute. Christmas was popping up everywhere already. It was so cute. And she was talking to us about it. And so the first day it's $17.99, but you get unlimited refills that day. And that does include the slushy icy machine, like the ices. And so we were constantly filling it with Diet Coke or an icy for a kid. So all day, got totally our money's worth, then some.
Oh my gosh.
And then we were able to bring it the next day to Volcano Bay. And then it was like $11 to pay for that day. Right. And then the third day is a little less. So really, it's such a great deal if you are.
And it's a souvenir. You bring it souvenir.
Home. The kids can have their own little cute, like universal tumbler at home.
It's so fun.
It's like a great thing. They sell them at almost all the drink stations and you can use them at all the parks.
Yeah, it's awesome. I will say they have paper straws.
Oh,
I have to, guys. I'm sorry if you love them, but I will forever hate them. I do not want a disintegrating straw drinking my Diet Coke.
Well, not to mention like an icy, I swear they like crumble up and disintegrate twice as fast. And then you have like 3 kids sucking the same straw and you're just like, this is just gross at this point.
We say this every time.
Yes, I need to just have a perma in my purse, permanent one. Reusable straw that you can just take anywhere.
Bring a straw. Like, I don't know what my problem is. Every single time I go to any theme park, I always forget.
Seriously.
And it's just enough to bug. So, FYI. Okay, my gosh, we could literally do like 3 different episodes on this. There's just so much.
We're just like, but it's
all
so
the things.
Fun.
So fun. But we're going to move on to our hits and misses, and they are going to be in Orlando. I mean, we had definitely some highs and lows. We're not going to make it sound like it was all roses and daisies. We had, a few meltdowns here and there, tired kids. I mean, all the things. So let's kick it off with Lauren. What was your miss?
My miss, I guess, I would say having a near teenager, almost 13-year-old, and then my youngest being 7, you just have a variety of demands. And especially when it comes to something like a theme park, I mean, it's just there's lots of different things that we could be doing at one moment and everyone kind of has to go with the flow and go with the different things. And so sometimes I'd get some heat from my oldest, like, I don't want to go on Dr. Seuss again. And then, but the other way, my little one was sick of sitting out for so long, like he was so sad when he was too short for Red Rock. Why can I never say it?
Riptide
Rocket.
Right?
Yeah. Riptide Rocket. You're right. Yep. He was like so sad. I can't believe he even wanted to go on that. I know. But he was like, and he just cried in my lap. And I'm like, buddy, it's okay.
That's when Sarah comes in and she like goes and buys the treat.
I know. Right,
I'll sit out with you,
just,
Caleb.
Come on, you two.
Come on.
You both don't do roller coasters now. So go for it. No. And so, but so sometimes that can just be a juggle and you're just like, oh my gosh, stop, please, patience. I'm trying. Because obviously I'm trying. I'm trying to appease everybody. Obviously we're trying to get, everybody happy and do everything. And then that's when they're like, I want to do this. Can we go here? Can we get that? What's that? And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you where we're going with the shortest wait for the quickest pace. So
just
that you
believe me.
Yeah, just listen. Just do what I tell you. We will do it all, please. I know what I'm doing here. So, all of that.
But at least your kids all love the rides.
Yeah.
Like they are
at
the same level of like what they'll do.
Yes, they are all eager and wanting. It's just, the juggle of it. But you're right. So, I mean, they all had so much fun.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, my miss, I swear, story of my life is the weather really it didn't get to me, but I swear I will just never be able to do a theme park without being a sweaty mess, Lauren.
You're not a sweaty mess.
No,
you just you glow a little more.
I literally said, I think I have like a glandular issue here. Like I just immediately start sweating so much from like every single pore to the degree where if I'm going to a theme park, I pack extra shirts, Lauren. I'm not lying.
I know. And but you're prepared.
Where come noon, I'm swapping it out.
I know.
So I'm not like a sweaty mess. It's crazy.
I know, at least you brought your cute Pippi Post shirt.
I did. And those were darling. And I feel bad I didn't get a picture in it because I had already changed by the time.
No, we had some really cute Harry Potter Pippi Posts. They have some really fun theme park shirts to check out. But you came prepared and I know.
But I will just say, like, there really is no reason to wake up at 5:30 like I did and curl my hair.
Oh my gosh, that first day. Do you remember that first day? It was extra humid that day. I had blown dry. Well, Sarah had blew out my hair and straightened my hair. And then that morning I recurled big curls. I'm not even lying. Within
5 minutes.
Max 10 minutes. They were as flat and frizzy and straight as possible. God. I'm like, this humidity is a whole new game for me.
Oh yeah. Like
new hair game for sure.
Oh
but
my
like
gosh.
just generally, it's a whole different thing.
Embrace the updo is all I'll say. Like, don't even try. But no, so that was my miss. Is just I feel like I was constantly just like, get me to some air conditioning.
Absolutely.
Story of my life. Okay, what was your hit?
I mean, we can't go without talking about the amazing Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So good. My gosh, it is just near perfection. And, I have a high theme park standard.
She does.
And Harry Potter really is just done next level. I mean, there's just every detail. We've done the wands. We mentioned them last episode. The wands are so fun for the kids, super interactive. I mean, between the food and the vibe. My husband lived in Scotland for a few years and he just was like, oh my gosh, you just feel so immersed into like old England, old Britain, whatever. And it's just so fun.
And can we just talk about how many Europeans were there?
Oh my gosh.
Lauren.
Oh my gosh.
It was all the more immersive because
you were hearing a British accent 24/7.
Everywhere. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. My husband loved to try to pick their brains. And I guess they were all on holiday.
Yeah.
Which is like a real, like true, like break for everybody, businesses and all. And so they get to come. And I knew even from my days working in Orlando that definitely the Brits and Europe in general love Orlando. They love the theme parks. They love to travel to Florida. It's only a 6-hour flight for them. So it's like a great destination. But it was crawling with foreigners. And it was really fun.
I was dying. I was literally like, wait, are these all like Harry Potter dorks that they're like, because you get the people in the capes or what do you call it? The robes. And I'm like, are they all like putting on their British accent right now?
Oh, yeah.
But no,
they're
like,
just all from England.
It was so rad. I was like, this is so cool. No, but I totally agree. Like you could just spend your days going through the stores.
And I wish I would have had more time. Still, second time around, like every Diagon Alley. I mean, what's your favorite? Is it Hogwarts or Diagon Alley?
That's so hard. Because Diagon Alley was the part where it had like the dark magic.
The dark alleyway.
The dark alley.
It had like a certain name. Yep.
I didn't see that last year. And like
that's the thing. So many little nooks and crannies. You can't even get to it all.
I know. Like there's so many interesting things to kind of digest that I feel like we weren't rushing, but we were trying to fit it all in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I do feel like you could just show up and spend the whole day, like just vibing through there, looking at, especially if you're a huge fan.
And especially if you have wands too. The wands take some time and they're super fun. The kids love that.
The kids did love that. And 3 broomsticks, the food, like
the food was so good.
My gosh.
And sometimes theme park food can be hit and miss. The 3 broomsticks and Leaky Cauldron, excellent food.
We loved the fish and chips.
We had to do it like both days. We loved them.
So good. Lauren literally ordered more as we're eating lunch.
I know, literally, George was like 3 fish sticks or 3 fish pieces are not enough. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me order some more. Mobile app. And that was
mobile order.
Just great.
Here we go. No, totally. All right. Well, my hit of the trip, really, truly, probably a moment I won't forget, is towards the end of our last day. It was kind of like getting down to closing time, right? And we're like trying to fit it all in or whatever. And my Kate, I think Luke and Caleb had gone back to the room with the dads, and we were there with all the others. And Kate wanted to go on the roller coaster with you guys. So it left me and Landon to go do something by ourselves. And so we went to go do Fast and Furious. And I don't know, I just kind of had a moment. There's just something like to having like a one-on-one moment with a child at a theme park. And I think he's just at this age that I just want to freeze time. You know, like he's right on the cusp of like really maturing. And like, there's just something around that 8-year mark where they do just kind of grow up to me. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And he's 7.5. He's going to be 8 in April. And I don't know, it was dark. The lights were all lit up in the park. And that's the other thing is like, you do feel like you're kind of on set to some degree.
Yes, it is.
There's like a New York, area where you feel like you're in New York and all the things. And so I don't know, it was just kind of like something that will forever be imprinted on my brain. It was kind of quiet. The park was closing down. We went on the ride and it's kind of like a party bus and we were dancing and it was just so fun. And then we ran over and did Mummy.
Yep.
And that was just so cute. And so I don't know. I just will always remember that. I thought it was really sweet. You know what I mean?
That's a perfect highlight to end on because I guess that's just why we do it. That's why we do it. We do all of this so we can like have those core memories with these little ones because they're just not little for long.
They're not.
And I think we said like multiple times, this trip will be a core memory for them because it was just so fun from beginning to end, every detail. And we just were on cloud 9 really the whole time. Universal was so good to us and we had such a wonderful experience again. And it just is going to keep us coming back.
And it was so different, truly. I just feel like there's just still so much more left to explore and all the things. So we just want to and we're being 1,000% honest to you guys. Every single thing we've said. Honestly, I feel like it's a perfect theme park for any age. Like you can take your high schoolers there and they're going to be totally occupied and like all loving the thrill rides and all the things. And then I could have a blast with my 5-year-old and I saw babies there and everything. So if you have any questions, go follow us on Instagram at the Mom Voice Podcast and DM us. Ask us any questions and we're happy to give you our opinions, share any tips, tricks, questions you might have.
Thanks so much for tuning in and following along. I hope that this was super helpful too, because we do love our theme parks and we do love a great trip and being able to connect with your kids and being able to produce a great family vacation is not always easy. So we hope that these tips and tricks help out because we just had such a great time, such a blast, and we're just so grateful that we got to do this.
Absolutely. We're coming up on planning those spring break trips, the summer vacations. So go check it out. We will be sharing about it on social throughout the week and kind of showing you some of our highlights. So make sure you go follow us over there at the Mom Voice Podcast. And with that, I think that'll do it for this episode. We have so much more to say, but we have to cut it off at some point. If you are new here, please make sure to hit that follow or subscribe button. We are back every Monday with a brand new episode. We also would love it if you would please go leave us a 5-star rating and a review wherever you listen. It really does mean the world to us. We see everyone and we always send each other a text when there's a new review.
We love... They just make our day,
week,
month,
all of it. When you're buried in the laundry, it's like, yes, we do this for a reason.
Yep.
Awesome.
Amen.
So thanks so much for being here. And with that, is there anything else, Lauren?
Oh, no, but take care of each other.
All right, guys. We'll see you next Monday.
All right. Bye-bye.